This is problem number 9 from section 4.8. It says solve the equation, check your answers. We want to check our answers because we really want to watch out for answers which don't work, which you saw in previous sections. I just think it's important to use your calculator to check your answers every time. So in this problem, it's similar to the previous problem that we just did because we have x to the 1/3. Last problem we had x to the -1. Either way, we're not used to dealing with, anything other than like x squared and x to the first power, right? Because this looks like a quadratic, but we have this 2/3 and this 1/3 power. But we know 2/3 is, double what 1/3 is. So it looks similar to a quadratic. I can make it a quadratic by saying u equals x to the 1/3, right? Just do a substitution here. And that means I'm going to replace x to the 1/3 with a u, so it looks like a quadratic. And then x to the 2/3 will end up being u squared, so it is a quadratic. I can solve that quadratic, and at the end I can then substitute the x to the 1/3 back in and solve. So let's go ahead and use this method. We're going to say 15 u squared, because obviously x to the 2/3 is x to the 1/3 times x to the 1/3. Which means we'd get 2 u's being multiplied, which is u squared, minus 23 x to the 1/3, so that's u, plus 4 equals 0. Now we're going to go to the quadratic formula, and we're going to use it. So we're going to say u this time, not x, u equals negative 23 plus and minus root negative 23 squared minus 4 times 15 times 4 all over 2 times 15. So u is going to equal, that'll be 23 plus and minus. Now I'm going to plug all that in the calculator. So negative 23 squared minus 4, 15, 4. 289, so I get root 289 here, all over 30. So u equals, I can tell you the root of 239, 17. So u equals 23 plus and minus 17 over 30. So that means u equals 40, right? 23 plus 17 is 40 over 30, which is 4/3. Or u equals 23 minus 17, which is 6 over 30, which is 1/5. Okay, at this point, we have what we think are our solutions, but that's for u. We want to know what x is. Well, we can bring back this x to the 1/3 to solve. So we're going to replace the u with x to the 1/3. So we're going to say x to the 1/3 equals 4/3. Or x to the 1/3 equals 1/5. Now I'm going to solve each of those. I'm going to write them back up here. X to the 1/3 equals 4/3, or x to the 1/3 equals 1/5. I'm going to take this to the 3rd power and this to the 3rd power as well. So I get x to the 1/3 to the 3rd power equals 4/3 to the 3rd power. This is going to give you x equals 4 to the 3rd power is 64 over 3 to the 3rd power, 27. Let's see, 64 over 27. We're just going to leave it as 64 over 27. That's it, doesn't reduce. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take this to the 3rd power and 1/5 to the third power. So this gives you just x, right? 1/3 times 3 is just x equals 1 to the third power is 1, and 5 to the third power is 125. So we've got two possible solutions here. Let's check them. And we can do this all in the calculator for the checking part. So I'm going to say 64, I'll use a fraction. So 64 over 27, store it as x. Type in 15 x to the 2/3 power minus 23 x to the 1/3 power plus 4. Gives you 0, which is what we thought we should get. So that's one solution. Now let's store x. What's to store? 1 over 25. So we'll say 1 over 125, not 25. And store it as x. Grab that equation. You'll see it gives you 0 as well. So both of these are solutions to this equation. Again, all we did was use a substitution there to get something that we're used to, which was a quadratic, to be able to solve.